Good morning, all of you. So we were discussing module 2 in the last week. We have completed addressing modes, data transfer instructions, arithmetic instructions, logical instructions, and bit manipulation instructions. The last set of the instructions is branch instructions. Out of that, some of the branch instructions very informally we have seen in the last class, but a very formal deliberation, formal discussion we shall do by taking various examples. So this is the presentation on branch instructions. So whenever there is a need to change the flow of the program, then control transfer group of instructions or branch instructions are used. All of you know that the program executes instruction by instruction in a sequence. But at some point of the time, you do not want to execute the instruction in a sequence. You may have to change the flow of execution of instructions based on some condition or based on your need of programming logic. Based on your need of programming logic, you may have to change the flow of execution of the instructions. That time, control transfer group of instructions or branch instructions are used. Mainly, jump instructions are used to change the flow of the program. Suppose, if a particular task has to be called several times in a program, then call and return instructions are used. Normally, service-specific task or function-specific task would be programmed independently as a subroutine. So that particular subroutine can be called frequently whenever it is needed. In that case, call and return instructions are used. So branch instructions are divided into two main groups. One is one is jump instructions, other one is call and return instructions. To use jumps, calls and returns, one must have to understand the addressing range that is considered for these operations. To use jumps and calls, return instructions, we must understand the addressing range that is used for these operations. They may have or they may fall into the following categories: relative range, absolute range, and long range. Let us see what are these addressing ranges are. What is a relative range? The jump that occurs within the range plus 127 decimal to minus 128 bytes. From the instruction following the jump or call instruction is known as a relative range. The name relative indicates that address where the jump has to occur is relative to the address present in the program counter. Let us see that in detail. Using our digital pad, let us see that in detail. Address ranges for branch instructions. Let us have that title. So what is that exactly? Suppose you have written a jump instruction here. Jump next. SJMP next, you have written. Or this may be case 1. So that next is here. Let us take one more case. SJMP back. So that back may be here. So what is this relative range? So the first one is relative range. Relative range. So what is the range they have specified? Minus 127. This is in decimal. To plus 128 bytes. What is the meaning? What is the meaning? You are storing this program in the memory. You are storing this program in the memory. What would be the maximum range, my friends? What can be maximum? What would be the maximum range? Maximum range is 255 bytes. 256 bytes. This starts at the address 00 and this ends at the address FF. So totally, what is the relative range address? Address range is how much? 256 bytes. Then what is that minus 127 to plus 128 bytes? What is the meaning? I was talking about signed numbers. Positive number is 00 to 7F, where your MSB is 1, sorry, 0. What would be a negative number or negative integer? 80 to FFH. 80 to FFH. So in this case of relative range, what does it do? See, let's just imagine that you are storing the number in the ROM whose address is 9000 and somewhere this address is 9005. Let this address be 9010H. So in this case of relative addressing, what does it do, you know? It just computes what is this gap. So in the first case, you just see 9010 minus 9005. Hexadecimal it is, mind it. So 0 minus 5 not possible. Take a borrow. Value of borrow is 16 minus 5 is 11. 11 is B. So the gap is 000B. That is gap is 0B. That is how much? About 11 bytes. That is the gap. So whenever you see this 11, this falls in the range 00 to 7F and the gap is positive. The gap is positive. In the second case, for example, if I take this as 9010, same example, suppose if I take this as 9001, the back address, and when you compute 9010 minus 9001, 16 minus 1 is 15. This is F. But very interestingly, this F would be taken as a negative back. It is a negative gap. It would be taken as a negative gap because you are jumping back, you know, you are jumping back. So actually it computes 9001 minus 9000. It computes like this. So it would be minus 0f. What is minus 0f? Very interesting. What would be minus 0f? See, this is 0f in binary. You have to take the 2's complement of this. 2's complement, if you take, what would happen? This one you have to keep as it is. Remaining you have to complement. Remaining you have to complement. So you are going to get F1 as the answer. Very interesting. You are going to get F1 as the answer. This F1 is nothing but relative range. This F1 is nothing but the relative range, which happens to be negative. F1 means it is negative because you are doing 9001 minus 9010. You will get minus F. Minus F is nothing but F1. F1 is the permissible relative range where you are jumping back. See, that is how the jump address is computed. That is how that the jump address is computed. That is why relative range is minus 127 decimal to plus 128 bytes. You can just say that F1 falls between this minus 127D to plus 128 bytes. You cannot jump more than 255 bytes. It is not a relative range. Relative range only permits, very important, relative range only permits a branch of 1 kilobytes. That I will write separately. I am writing in a different color for you. See, just see. Relative range, relative address range permits branching within 256 bytes. That is both in case of forward and backward branching. Both in case of forward and backward branching, the range can be very interesting. Range can be FF 007F. Very, very important. That is at minus 127 is that only. It is minus 127 decimal 0 plus 128 decimal. It's very, very important. The range will be that. So both in case of forward and backward branching, the range can be FF00 to 7F. Your FF, see this side, it starts by 80. So this is 80 to FF is negative, 00 to FF is 7F is positive. So this range, see this, you have to note down properly, otherwise, you know, it will be difficult to you to understand in the textbooks. So 00 to 7F, see this range is used for forward branching. That is, I have given in my case 1. So this one, this is forward branching. This is backward. This is what case 2. This is forward branching. So this range is used for forward branching. This range is used for backward branching. That is why in the next case you got the answer as F1 minus 0F is nothing but F1. F1 is in this range. F1 is in this range. So this we have to understand very clearly about what is called as relative addressing. Relative addressing. So the advantages of relative addressing is only 1 byte of the data will indicate whether the jump has to occur forward or backward. Just by adding that byte to PC, the jump will occur to the required location. The program that is written using relative jumps can be located anywhere in the program address space without reassembling the code to generate jump address. So all the address jumps must be in the range of plus 127 to minus 128 bytes. So anything is fine. That is not a very big this one. So have you understood this? So very, very important. You can just see in this. Suppose if I want to, so in the place of next, this particular gap will be written 0, 0, 0B will be written. So when you add that, so what is the next address here? 9005. What would be the next address? Next address is, see, this is 1 byte. This is 1 byte. This is just 0B will be here after machine code generation. So totally 2 bytes means, so next address is 9007. To this 9007, you add this gap. So gap may be 0, 0. What would be the gap? 009, for example. So 9010 minus 5, sorry, the gap is 0B. When you add this, what happens? 11 plus 7, 18. 18 in hexadecimal is 2. So you are going to get 9012. So 9012, this address. This is 9012. Next, this point. That's how this is got. This is got. So that is just by adding whatever number is there. See, this is 9012. So suppose 0B is here. Suppose 0B is here. What is that 0B? That is particular gap. So for 9007, that which is the content of PC. See, this is the content of program counter now. 9007. To 9007, if you add that 0B, you are going to get 9012. So 9012 is nothing but this particular address. This particular address. So that is how the branch address is found. That is how the branch address is found. So that is the meaning of this line. Only 1 byte data will indicate whether the jump has to occur forward or backward. Just by adding that byte to PC program counter, the jump will occur to the required location. So the meaning of that is the example what I have shown here. This example. So SJMP next, in that next you write that particular gap. By adding that gap, you are going to get exactly where actually the jump has to, where actually the branching has to be perform. So now I am asking you in the chat box, have you understood this? Understood the concept of relative addressing? Very important. So now let us take the next example. So how 9001 you can get? You can go, how can you get back this? For 9010, you just add 000F. You are going to get this. So that also you can verify. What would be the content of PC in this case? Content of PC is 9012. 9012. So 9012 plus F1. How much you are going to get? You can just see. 3, 15 plus 1 is 16. 16 is in hexadecimal. Nine 910. You have to take the 2's complement of this. When you take the 2's complement, when you take the 2's complement of this, you are going to get back exactly 9001. That is, it will subtract. It will subtract. That subtraction you have to do here. You have to do the subtraction of that. So when you do the subtraction of that, you are going to get back exactly the back address also. So when you see F1, what is the meaning? When you see F1, what is the meaning? Meaning is you have to do, it is 2's complement number. You have to take the 2's complement of, see here, in this case, SJMP back, a 2's complement number will be there. Suppose, for example, F1. Meaning is, this particular gap, it will show. This gap, it will show. So when you see a 2's complement number here, or when you see a negative number here, what is the meaning? It means that you have to subtract F1 minus 9012. That is, you have to subtract here. This you have to subtract. This you have to subtract. When you subtract this, so when you are subtracting this, what you have to do? Simple it is. 9012 minus the 2's complement of F1 is, what is the 2's complement of F1? F1 is F. 2's complement of F1 is F. So you are going to get here 0003. 00003 is thus next address of this. Sorry, 9003 you are going to get here. 9003. So 9003 is the very next address of this one. So it will jump there. So that is how the relative addressing works. So it is very important as the concept is concerned. So I got the feedback that you have understood that. Let us go to the next range, absolute range. So here in the absolute range, memory is logically divided into pages. Program memory is regarded as one continuous stretch of memory from 0000 to FFFF. And it is divided into logically pages of 1K or 2K or 4K, etc. Or 256 bytes, etc. In 8051, program memory, that is your on-chip ROM, is arranged as 2K pages, giving a total of 32 pages in decimal. In the sense, you are having 64K on-chip. You can address 64K. Each page is of 2K How many such pages are there? 32 pages are there. So totally what would be the address range? 64K. That only I told you. So the program memory 8051 which can address is how much? 64K memory it can address. So see this particular table you can just see. So table 4.6, whatever you are seeing here is showing the pages. Page 0, it is ranging from 0000 to 07FF. Page 1 is ranging from 0 next address 0800 to 0FFF. So like that, how many pages are there? 32 pages. You can just see 1F is nothing but 31st pages, because the page 0 to page 31. 31 in hexadecimal is 1F. So last range is F800 to FFFF. Meaning is what? From the addresses in the table, you can just observe that the upper 5 bits address holds the page number and lower 11 bits holds the address in the corresponding range. So what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? Let us take the second one. Second one is absolute range. Absolute range. So what is the absolute range? Here first you have to understand that 8051 addresses 64K program memory. 64K program memory. This program memory is divided into 32 pages. 32 pages. If I write 32, this is a decimal number. 32 pages. Each of 32 pages. Each of 2K size. Each of 2K size. Each of 2K size. So now all of you can answer your attendance. All of you are answer your attendance now. All of you answer your attendance. (2K size. 8051 addresses 64K program memory. The program memory is divided into 32K pages, each of 2K size. Each of 2K size. Okay. Suppose if I take some address I will take 7563. If I tell, suppose if I write it in binary, 7 means 0111, 5 is 0101, 6 is 0110, 3 is 0011. See, this is the address 7563rd H, the location. That means if I take this as the memory, some location I am showing as 7563. 7563. This is what? This is what? So now, here you can just see. Upper 5 bits. This indicates the page number. Lower 11 bits. So lower 11 bits. gives the address within that page. Within that page. See, very, very important to understand this. So if I say 7563 is the location address as shown in the diagram, upper 5 bits. Why it is 5? Why it is 5? 32 is what? What is 32? 32 is 2 power 5. So to address each page, how many bits are required? 5 bits are required. So in any address, upper 5 bits gives the page number. Okay. Now in this case, what is the page number? You can just see what is the page number. So it is 0 into 2 power 0. Convert that. 1 into 2 power 1 plus 1 into 2 power 2 plus 1 into 2 power 3, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3 plus 0 into 2 power 4. Very interesting. So now it is 2 plus 4 plus 8. So that means it is 14th page. Just see. This is 14th page. 14th page. 7563 falls in 14th page. So that is how 8051 addresses 64K memory. The program memory is divided into 32 pages, each of 2K size. Each of 2K size. Because that is in one page, how many memory locations are there? 2048 memory locations are there in one page. Such how many pages are there? 32 pages are there. That particular page range and all you can just see in this table. Whatever you are seeing here is that table. So you can just see 14th page. 14 means 0E. 14 is 0E. You can just see it is 0E. It is 0E. So whatever example I have taken, 7563 is falling in this range, 7000 to 77FF. Within that range I have taken the example as 7563. So that 7563 is falling in 14th page. 14 in hexadecimal is 0E. Meaning is what? The upper 5 bits always holds the address of the page number and lower 11 bits holds the address within that page. So this you have to understand. So the absolute range is that. So if the branch instruction is at the page boundaries like X7FF or XFF, the next instruction at location X800 or X000. In this case, there is no problem for forward jump. But if there is a backward jump, it will result in error. It will result in error because you are crossing the page boundary. No, you are crossing the page boundary. See, when you are crossing the page boundaries, always there will be an error. So you should be very careful when you are using the backward jump in this case of absolute range, because if the backward jump falls in the boundaries, you can just see the boundary address. It is written in that particular table, page boundary. Then what happens? There will, if the forward jump is there, there will not be any problem. But in the case of the backward jump, it will raise an error because you are crossing the boundaries. You are crossing the boundaries. I please quickly answer whether you have understood that absolute range. Have you understood the absolute range? Program memory dividing it into pages. It's very important. Have you understood this? Absolute range. Absolute range. Have you understood this? Program memory is divided into pages. Upper 5 bits are giving the page number. Repeat the last point. See, what is that last point which I told? Last point is nothing but in the case of the branch instruction, if the branch instruction falls in the page boundary, If it is a forward jump, it will do properly. But if in case of the backward jump, it will create error, because when you are crossing the boundary, that particular, when you are computing the negative address, it will create error. That is what the problem is. So anyway, that is not a big issue. You need not bother about that. You understand what is an absolute range. Absolute range is addressing a program memory of 64K size, where the program memory is divided into pages. That concept, if you understand, it is sufficient. We are in the last minute. I am going to continue 10:45 also. You have to join back at 10:45. It's a regular class. Long range. What is the long range? Addresses that can access the entire program space from 0000 to FFFF. Use long range addressing. Long range addresses require more bytes of the code to specify and relocatable only at the beginning of the 64K. The entire program address space is available to a program of longer length. Advantage is that, see, in case of longer range addresses, complete address program space of 0000 to FFFF can be used in case of the long range. And it requires more bytes to specify, and it is relocatable only at the beginning of the 64K page. Beginning of the 64K pages. So that is normally used in the application programming. So at disadvantages, it requires reassembling of the program is the disadvantage. So we will stop and we will see it in the next class at 10:45.